Welcome to StoryNix World. Today we're telling the 6,000-year story of the world's most popular food, pizza. It did not start in Italy. Ancient Egyptians made flatbreads. Roman soldiers ate topped bread on campaigns. European nobles thought tomatoes were deadly poison for 200 years. A queen tried street food and gave it her name. And American soldiers came home from World War II craving it so badly that they built an entire industry. Let's start from the very beginning. The idea of flatbread with toppings is as old as civilization itself. Archaeological evidence shows that ancient Egyptians were baking flatbreads over 6,000 years ago, adding herbs and oils as flavoring. In the 6th century BC, Persian soldiers in the army of Darius the Great reportedly baked flatbreads directly on their iron shields over campfires, then topped them with cheese and dates for a high-energy field meal. Ancient Greeks topped their flatbreads with oils, garlic, and onions. The Romans had panis focaccia, dressed with olive oil, cheese, and herbs. None of these people called it pizza. But the instinct, flat dough, heat, toppings, is as human as fire itself. By the 1700s, Naples was one of the most densely packed cities in Europe, full of what the Italians called lazzaroni, the urban working poor who needed food that was fast, cheap, portable, and filling. Street vendors called pizzaioli sold flatbreads topped with whatever was available. Lard, anchovies, garlic, leftover cheese. You could eat it while walking. You could pay with the coins in your pocket. The upper classes, the travelers, the foreign visitors to Naples, they wrote about pizza with barely disguised horror. One 19th-century writer described it as a disgusting concoction that only the lowest classes would consume. The entire Neapolitan aristocracy agreed with him. Meanwhile, millions of people ate it happily every day. Here's the strangest detour in pizza's history. The tomato, which most people consider the defining ingredient of pizza, was considered poisonous by wealthy Europeans for almost 200 years. When the tomato arrived from South America in the 1500s, it was immediately recognized as a member of the nightshade family, which contains genuinely toxic plants. Wealthy Europeans ate from pewter plates, and acidic tomato juice did in fact leach lead from those plates into the food, causing illness. The poor, eating from wooden bowls, experienced no such problem. And so it was the poor of Naples, with no pewter and no alternative, who first incorporated tomatoes into their flatbreads in large quantities, and accidentally invented the defining combination that would one day feed billions. In June of 1889, something happened in Naples that changed pizza forever. Queen Margherita of Savoy, wife of King Umberto I, was visiting the city. The story goes that she grew tired of the elaborate French cuisine that was fashionable at court and requested to try local food. A celebrated pizzaiolo named Raffaele Esposito was summoned to the royal palace to make 3 different pizzas. The queen chose the one with tomato, mozzarella, and fresh basil, the red, white, and green of the Italian flag. Esposito named it in her honor. Whether every detail of this story is factually accurate is debated by food historians. But what is not debated is this: the letter of royal gratitude sent by the Queen's household to Esposito still exists. It is the first known written record of a pizza bearing a specific name. The Margherita pizza is real, and so is its royal origin. Pizza crossed the Atlantic with the great waves of Italian immigration at the turn of the 20th century. In 1905, a Neapolitan immigrant named Gennaro Lombardi opened what is considered America's first pizzeria on Spring Street in Manhattan. For decades, pizza remained almost entirely within Italian-American neighborhoods in New York, New Jersey, and Chicago. The wider American public simply did not encounter it. Then World War II happened. American soldiers were deployed across Italy, lived there for months, and ate the local food. They ate pizza in Naples, in Rome, in small villages across the country. When they came home, they wanted it again. Suddenly there was mass demand from non-Italian Americans, and pizzerias began opening across the country at a pace no one had anticipated. A war accidentally introduced pizza to mainstream America. In 1943, in Chicago, a man named Ike Sewell opened Pizzeria Uno and introduced what would become the most contentious pizza of all time: the deep dish. Instead of a thin, hand-stretched Neapolitan base, deep dish used a thick, buttery, high-sided crust pressed into a round pan. The layering was reversed. Cheese went in first against the crust, then toppings, then a thick blanket of tomato sauce on top to prevent burning during the longer bake time. Neapolitan traditionalists were immediately appalled. New Yorkers refused to call it pizza at all. Jon Stewart famously declared on national television that Chicago deep dish was, quote, not pizza but a casserole. Chicago responded by mailing him a deep dish. This disagreement has never been resolved. It never will be. Both sides have excellent pizza and no interest in admitting it. By the late 1950s, pizza had found its industrial form. Pizza Hut opened in Wichita, Kansas in 1958, founded by two brothers with a $600 loan from their mother. Domino's followed in 1960 in Michigan, pioneering the 30-minute delivery guarantee that reshaped how people thought about restaurant food coming to their door. By the 1990s, both chains operated in dozens of countries. And as pizza spread globally, it adapted. In Japan, pizza comes topped with corn, mayonnaise, and squid. In India, tikka masala and paneer are common toppings. In Scandinavia, kebab pizza is a national institution. In Brazil, sweet pizza with chocolate and strawberry is a legitimate dessert genre. The Neapolitan original had become a global canvas, simultaneously the most standardized and most freely customized food on earth. As pizza became a global phenomenon, the city that invented it decided it had seen enough. In 2017, after years of lobbying by Neapolitan pizza makers, UNESCO added the art of Neapolitan pizza making to its list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The recognized tradition specifies San Marzano tomatoes grown in the volcanic soil near Mount Vesuvius, 00 grade wheat flour, fior di latte mozzarella, fresh basil, and extra virgin olive oil. The pizza must be baked in a wood-fired dome oven at 485 degrees Celsius for no more than 60 to 90 seconds. But the UNESCO recognition was about more than the recipe. It was about the pizzaiolo, the pizza maker, and the tradition of hand-stretching dough, reading the fire, and passing the craft from master to apprentice across generations. In 300 years, pizza had traveled from the streets of Naples, where the rich called it disgusting, to the halls of UNESCO, where the world called it irreplaceable. Why is pizza so hard to stop eating? Food scientists have actually studied this specifically, and the answer is both fascinating and slightly unsettling. The crust delivers carbohydrates that trigger dopamine release. The mozzarella contains casein proteins that, when digested, produce compounds called casomorphins. These bind to the same opioid receptors in the brain as morphine, producing a mild but real feeling of satisfaction and well-being. The tomato sauce is extraordinarily rich in glutamates, the molecules responsible for the savory, mouth-filling sensation of umami. The fat from the cheese coats the palate in a way that signals richness to the brain. And heat intensifies all of these effects simultaneously. Pizza was not designed in a lab. It was assembled slowly, over centuries, by poor people in Naples making food from whatever they had. But the result, completely by accident, is a food that hits almost every human reward pathway at once. When you can't stop at one slice, that is not a personal failing. That is 6,000 years of culinary evolution doing exactly what it was always going to do. Today, the world eats approximately 5 billion pizza slices every single day. Americans alone consume 3 billion whole pizzas per year, roughly 23 pounds of pizza per person annually. It is a $150 billion global industry. There are over 75,000 pizzerias in the United States alone. The most expensive pizza ever sold was a $12,000 creation in New York, topped with truffles, lobster, and caviar. But in Naples, a perfect margherita, the one named for a queen, made with the recipe certified by UNESCO, baked in 90 seconds at 485 degrees, still costs a few euros. What started as flatbread on a Persian soldier's shield, scorned by European aristocrats, eaten by the poor of Naples while walking through crowded streets, now feeds more people every single day than any other food on earth. And the original is still the best. All the history in this episode draws on books, academic research, and published reporting. The full source list is on screen. These stories are even richer when you dig into the originals. If the hidden stories behind everyday things get you curious, you're in exactly the right place. StoryNix World covers cultural flavors, global travel, frontier science, and the stories that school never quite got around to telling. Subscribe, and let's explore the world together, one story at a time.